Hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth demo of Codename Omni application by Novasama Technologies. And I'm really glad to see you here after the long break that we had because of Christmas holidays and New Year holidays. And I hope that I will share new features and show how they works. So let me start. So in general, the team is continue working on the staking, and currently we are finalizing the staking information dashboard, and we have implemented select validator screen, so that in the list of nominators that we have, the user is able to check validators that were selected by every nominator. And besides some general information that includes validator identity name or validator address, they're also possible to show that APY, validator's APY, and also validator status if he was elected or not elected for the current era. It may be helpful for the user to understand if selected validators are working and he gets some rewards or not. Also, we added a screen that shows information about the staking in the network so that it will be easier for user to decide should he stake tokens or not and the amount of stake tokens. So we are showing the APY and nomination details like total nominated amount, active nominators number, and unstaking period. And we show it for Polkadot and Kusama because they're using the staking palette. And the third thing that we are working on, and it's really important for our users to have because of a multi-shard operation, it's a multiple transaction signing component with a parity signer. So let me remind you that in terms of multi-shard operation, the user is able to create a lot of transactions. So as much shard as were selected, as much transactions will be created. And to make this multi-shard feature really powerful, we have to allow to the user to sign all these transactions in the single action. And together with the parity signer team, we developed a multiple transaction signing feature that allows to generate a single QR code for multiple operations. If the size of a QR code is small, then the multi-frame QR code will be generated that may include 2 frames, 3 or more in order to encode all the data. Then parity signer reads the signatures from the QR code and generates them, and then send all these transactions to the network when we scan back this data to the Omni application. So yeah, it's better to show how the application works instead of saying words about it. So let me show how it works. On the screen, you see the latest version of our application. And here you see the information about the staking. And I have a few accounts selected. So I have 2 watch-only accounts that are available on every network, and 2 accounts that are available only for the West End. And for the Polkadot, I can check the information about this account. So this account named Nova and this account named My Polkadot. And I see the rewards, the staked amount. And also now I'm able to check validators. For that purpose, I have to click to these 3 dots. And there is a new item in this drop-down menu that is called View Validators. And now you see the list that I was talking about. So I see the list of validators split to 2 sublists. The first list is elected validators. It means that these validators who are elected in the current era and participate in stake, and they will share rewards with you. And not elected validators. So these validators are not elected in the current era, and they're not earning any rewards. Also, you can check the current API that each validator may share with you. The stake, the part of your stake that was assigned to the validator. So we see that the stake was assigned to this validator named Jaco. And also you can check this validator on the subscan. So for example, I'd like to check this validator where my stake was assigned. And now it opens on the block explorer and I can check some details here. And let's back to the application. So also we can check it for another network, for example, for the West End. And here you can see my two other nominators. And I can check validators. Yeah, it seems it's being loaded and it may take some time. Okay, yeah, so I see that for the Nova account, there is a list of validators. Once again, it's split it to the elected and not elected. And yeah, I nominated no one of them. And I'm also able to check in the block explorer. So the next feature that was done is information about the staking. So you can find it here. And here you see the general information, the total staked amount in the whole network. So if I select Polkadot, it will be shown for the Polkadot. The active nominators amount, the staking period and unstaking period. That is really important when you make a decision about staking. And also you can check the APIs and yeah, you can also check this information for another network. For example, for Kusama, it usually takes some time to make to get the data and make some calculations. But once again, the information finally was loaded. And the same for the West End, that is a test network. So that's how it worked. And the last thing that I'd like to show, but it's really important for further development for the multi-shard operation, is how the signing component works. So I'm not going to show the whole flow because we don't have multi-shard operations implemented in the Omni right now. But this signing will be a final step. And we already implemented it in order to reuse in all multi-shard operations. So it's just a component. It's not a whole feature. But we are able to show it right now. So how it works, let me explain. I select two accounts for the West End. It's a Stake Ops West End 2 and Stake Ops West End 5. And these accounts were imported from the parity signer. And both of them are part of a multi-shard wallet that's called Omni demo. And I open the page with this test component. And here you see the QR code that is changing because it's a multi-frame QR code, the QR code that contains of multiple frames. And these two accounts, in terms of testing this component, are making transfer. So this account makes transfers to that account, and this account makes transfers to that account. And these two transfers are encoded in this QR code. So also you see that the frequency of frames is slowing down. Let me show it once again. You see that frames are changing fast and then it's slow and slow down. So we made it in order to support all type of phones. So for example, if the camera on your phone is not so good, then the FPS of a frame change is slowing down in order to make your camera able to scan the QR code. So now I'm going to scan it. And for that purpose, I also would like to share with you my iPhone screen. So I'm going to connect it. Okay. And now I hope that you see my parity signer screen. And yeah, so I have to switch to the Omni application. Oh, just a second, sorry. Okay, and now I'm not available. I'm not able to switch. Okay, then I will scan this QR code and try to show it to you. Okay, great. So I scanned this QR code and now let me share my screen again. Okay, you see that it was signed, and as I said, there are two transactions that were encoded in this QR code. And it's balances transfer with 100 pico VNDs for the first account, and the same transfer, but vice versa from source account to test account with 100 pico VND. And you can check the details here in order to check the operation, check the account details. And here you see the same picture. It's a multi-frame QR code, but this QR code contains signed operations that Omni will use for sending to the blockchain. So it means that these two operations were read from the QR code and signed, and this is a signature. So I'm going to scan it back to the Omni application. Just a second. Okay, so I click here, continue. And now I can scan it. So this is the same QR code. And you see that it was scanned. And now Omni submits the transactions to the blockchain. So I have to wait for some time in order to get the information if a transaction was executed or not. And then we'll check it in the subscan in order to be sure that everything works well. Okay, before we start, I can copy the address and then open the subscan and find this account. Okay, seems that it's been working. Yeah, still submitting. Okay, we also can copy the second account. Yeah, it's also still submitting. Okay, let's wait. Sometimes it's not so fast. By the way, while we are waiting, maybe you guys have some questions, so please ask in the chat. Okay, seems that there are no questions. Okay, then let's wait. Maybe last attempt. No, there are no transactions. I don't know why. Maybe the blockchain is working not so fast as expected. Let's try again. It's not a problem. Let's back to the sign-in dev, and I will try to make the same thing. So I scan it with a parity signer, then unblock it, get the QR code, then continue and scan it back. Okay, operations are submitting. And it's still submitting. Okay, then let's check it once again. Oh yeah, 11 seconds ago. I think that it's a previous one. Yeah, and let's check this extrinsic that was sent. So yeah, it's 0 point, a lot of zeros, 1 VND transferred to the account. And if I share the signature, then it should be the same thing here. So one of the transaction is the same, 5GH. So it probably was the second transaction. So that's how it works. Also, this multiple transaction signing component supports as many transactions as possible. So we can put there 20, 30, 40, and even 50 and more transactions. And also it works if the derivations that we use in the parity signer has password. In that case, parity signer will ask you to enter the password in order to unlock your account. So let's back to the slides. And yeah, we went through the demo, and now let's quickly review the brief status of the milestone 2 features. So as I said, we are currently working on staking for nominators, and especially on the multi-shard account support. And it's the only thing that we has to complete in terms of the multi-shard operations, because wallets are already done. And we are working on start staking operations and planning to do other staking operations. So that's all. If you have any feedback, then you always can find me in Polkadot Direction channel, and also follow this QR code and share a feedback with me, and for sure I will share it with the team. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, let's check once again if there are any questions. Feel free to ask in the chat. I will wait for a minute. Okay, so no one is typing. So thanks everyone for watching the demo. Thanks for staying with us, and yeah, everything is clear. Okay, thanks for the comment. Okay, so I will be glad to get any feedback. So see you and have a good day and upcoming weekend. Bye bye.